Hey guys, welcome back to Love and Vibes. Today we'll be talking about red flags, green flags, and why choosing peace seems to be the most hardest but most powerful decisions we make in love. We're going through this topic because people tend to confuse chaos over passion. They tend to ignore the red flags at the beginning, and then they choose to endure over peace, which is very wrong. And I don't even understand why you tend to do that. Is it because you want to feel love? The red flags we tend to normalize are constant confusion and mixed signals. Like, does he really love me? You tend to think too much about the status of your relationship, and that's not healthy. The next is you're feeling anxious instead of being secured. You're always thinking, what's he doing now? Is he chatting with another lady? Is she chatting with another guy? You tend to think wild and you don't feel secured about your relationship. You're always thinking, is this relationship even mine? Like, is it going to last? That's not healthy for a relationship. The next is poor communication disguised as that's just the way they are. That's so not cool. That's so not true. Someone that really wants to be with you will tend to communicate better because clear communication in relationship matters a lot. Buttress your feelings the way they are. If you're busy, you tell your spouse you're busy and make them understand why you can't reach out to them and not make them feel comfortable with your absence. They can easily replace you with that. Then disrespect masked as jokes. You need to learn to draw the line between disrespect and jokes. You can't constantly insult your partner or speak rudely to your partner and say, "Oh, I was just joking." That's not cool. Respect your partner just the way you would want them to respect you. Then always explaining or justifying bad behavior. Don't do that. Okay? If your spouse is disrespectful, caution them. If they don't want to change, then you tell them, if you are not ready to change, I can't continue with this. Don't be with a disrespectful person and justify it as that's their behavior. No. Train them even while you're in the relationship. That's why you're there for each other. The green flags we often overlook is consistency, not intensity. Like, consistency is like the frequency of something. He calls it today, he calls it tomorrow, he calls it morning, afternoon, evening. She calls it today, she calls it tomorrow, morning, afternoon, evening. That is consistency, not intensity, like the pressure of which it's in there. No. How often the person does that is what really counts. That's a green flag. Then the next is accountability and emotional honesty. God, I love this point so much. When you're accountable for every little thing, like keeping details really matter in relationship. And then that emotional honesty, like be real about your feelings, be real about everything. It makes love very sweet. The next is respecting boundaries. When your partner tells you, babe, I don't like this, then you should be like, okay, this person don't like this thing. I shouldn't do it. That is respecting boundaries, like knowing where to stop. That's love. Peaceful communication during conflicts. Learning how to resolve issues in relationship is very, very important, but most of us tend to fail in that. It's not, if his volume is high, you as the lady, your volume should be low. If her volume is high, yours should be low because two wrongs doesn't make it right. So you need to, even if it will bruise your ego, just calm down. Because you love that person, you will do anything to keep a relationship. Okay? Healthy love feels very calm and not confusing. If you're in love, you should have peace and not always be thinking. Choosing peace. This is the point I want to talk of now. To an extent, due to how you're used to chaos, peace begins to feel boring. You're used to drama, you're used to insults. Then when you find that person that loves you with all of them, they tend to bring down their pride, they tend to break their walls for you. You feel, is this even love? You're already used to the chaos. That's not healthy, baby. The next is choosing peace over potential. This person might be wealthy, this person might be intelligent, but if you're not at peace around them, you wouldn't enjoy that. Because, just like I said, you should choose peace over endurance. Love is not meant to be endured, it's meant to be enjoyed. The next is walking away even when love is present. That is, the love is there, but maybe it's not the way you want it. Maybe it's not the way you're used to. You need to learn to try different options. Okay? And if you're not comfortable with it and you want to walk out, feel free, baby. Nobody's gonna stop you. Understanding that peace is self respect. Peace is self respect. Sometimes love doesn't leave. You choose to leave because you love yourself more. If you can recall from our last episode, I said you ought to choose yourself at all times. And if you're in a relationship and you feel that's not where you're supposed to be, walk out. Because your emotional health is better than anything. Things we need to reflect on is, does this connection bring anxiety or peace? Am I staying because of love or fear? What red flags am I calling normal? Peace isn't boring. Peace is simply clarity. And if anything costs your peace, then you should know it's just too expensive for you. Thank you for listening to this episode of Love and Vibe. Until next time, choose yourself.